simple human did the prime evils fear above all others due to their unseen power, and why? As you know, the primevals would inhabit mortal bodies to hold physical form in the realm of Sanctuary due to the Worldstone's interference, or as creative lead Chris Metzen would state.
Back in the day, I don't know that we ever wrote this down, but it's always been one of my favorite hooks, is that Diablo and his brothers, or any of these prime demons, they have to manifest in the physical world through a host. And given the fact that they all have very different kind of thematic kits, for instance, Diablo is the Lord of Terror, what he does when he possesses you is that he reaches deep and pulls out your darkest nightmares. And I had always surmised that in Diablo 1, we had this big hulking red brute. I always imagined that the person Diablo possessed to achieve that form was, King Leorics' youngest son, Albrecht. And I always imagined that that was Albrecht's ultimate vision of what would scare him. And in Diablo 2, obviously the villain of Diablo evolved. Now he's got a tail and he's a little more Godzilla-like. So how interesting this time around, where Diablo is manifest again through the body of his mortal heir, that it would be female.
However, we did see ways ordinary men could repel the demons, such as King Leorics' will being strong enough that he could ward off Diablo's attempt at control, unfortunately at the cost of his own sanity. Or the priest Khalim of the Zhakarum faith in Kurast, whose will in life was strong enough to resist even the Lord of Hatred's possession, and although in retribution, Mephisto's dark council ripped Khalim's body asunder and spread said pieces across the land, it would become apparent that there was an element of rightful fear from Mephisto, as Khalim's will was so pure that the hero of Diablo 2 would go on to create a mace, Khalim'swill, out of Khalim's own ripped out organs.
Masterfully done, hero. You have crafted Khalim'swill. Employ it to destroy the compelling orb and open the way to Mephisto. May the true light guide your way.
The mace itself was powerful enough to shatter Mephisto's compelling orb, exposing him and his council in his durance of hate. However, a will itself is not enough. The reason why both Diablo, who targeted the Archbishop Lazarus, and Mephisto, who targeted the Hagen and Kurast, specifically did so beyond the simple pleasure of profanity, was due to the fear of the power of faith. But why? Well, a man of strong will, coupled with faith, were extreme threats to the Lord of Terror, especially before they could shed their human host for their fully powered demonic form. And we learned how in Diablo 1's cut content, where we see a priest named Tremaine of the Zhakarum faith who freed a man from the grasp of a demonic possession, as Pepin the Healer states.
I was asked to assist in the exorcism. My skills were able to ease the poor man's suffering as Tremaine drove the demon from his body. While I was treating him for an exceptionally high fever, he spoke of a place of searing heat. The tortured fellow cried out about hell and falling into a pit of flame. I could not make any sense of it, and thankfully he soon recovered.
And seeing how the original game's Zhakarum symbology followed Christianity's cross much closer in aesthetic, it makes total sense. A local priest of high faith could perform exorcisms, literally ripping demons, even primevals in their weakened state, from their snug, fleshy cocoon of a human host, before they could regain their strength on Sanctuary. Now, unfortunately, this plotline was not explicitly stated or pursued openly in Diablo 1, and we can only guess at why. Perhaps because it would make ripping the soul stone from the warrior and exorcising Diablo far easier at the culmination of the game. But it also makes sense why the warrior mistakenly was searching for his salvation with the aid of quote-unquote mystics to the east, which we later learn are in Kurast, beyond the desert to the east. Always the east.
Many moons have passed since I left the town of Tristram behind me. Since then, I've tried to forget the terrors I beheld beneath the cold earth, and the twisted nightmares that have haunted my every waking moment. There's something dark within me now. I can feel it, driving me towards the east, assuring me that my salvation lies within the ruins of ancient kingdoms. Though I know the way, I know not what perils will arise to hinder my journey. And as I pass through the first gate, I know that the better part of my soul